Hey everybody, it's Jay Kitchen from jaysbeard.com. I hope you're doing really well today. We're doing a review of something that we picked up a sample of from Ades, AEDES.com, perfumers. They're located on the Lower East Side in New York. I used to go to them a lot when I used to live in the city. They were not on the Lower East Side then, but that's a lot of extraneous trivia that you really don't need to know. This is something called Les Nuits by Astier de Villatte. I believe that's our pronunciation. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. This is a fragrance for men and women. It's new. It was developed in 2022. The nose behind the fragrance is pretty well known. This is Dominique Ropion. It is a recreation of a scent that somebody, I think the perfumer, was gifted. I'm going to read a little bit off of Lucky Scent. They have kind of a very flowery sort of description of this. A hot night in the summer of 1838 in the Maison de Nohant, the place of famous and sumptuous nocturnal parties where intellectuals and artists of all Paris thronged. Alfred de Musset, Franz Liszt, Marie d'Aiguë, Honoré de Balzac, Gustave Flaubert, Eugène Delacroix, inveterate night owls, George Sand and her lover of the moment, Frédéric Chopin, stroll lazily in the gardens until the early morning. The air is saturated with the sumptuous perfume with the opulent trail of the novelist whose formula, extracted from the end of a small travel bottle entrusted by Christiane Sand to perfume historian Annick Le Guérant, is now recreated by the perfumer Dominique Ropion. An intoxicating scent of Turkish rose, Damascena, the most noble, fragrant, and luxurious, of earthy, woody, highly sensual patchouli, and of iris with woody, powdery accents, powerful and refined. I got not a sprayer, but a bottle with a spreader, as it were, like this. Now, you can see how much of this juice I've used today. I first applied this about 5 hours ago, and up until about a half an hour ago when I was encountering some other scents in the air, it was more than a skin scent, but it was really present. I mean, I don't think it projected too much. I can't really be sure about that. I mean, I figure if I'm smelling it a foot away, it's probably, you know, I'm in a little fragrance bubble. It is very powdery and floral, and I don't think this is a scent for a young person. Now, it is an old recipe or headspace or whatever you want to call it that this is purportedly recreated from. It is a beautiful smell, but it is really kind of grandmotherly, if you will. Check out the image of the bottle and don't forget to subscribe. Smash that thumbs up button, we really appreciate you. The main accords, as listed by Fragrantica, are iris, rose, powdery, woody, earthy, violet, leather, yellow floral, floral, and patchouli. So you can kind of see that this is a bit florally, and the notes are, it's not a top, middle, or base, it's just the notes are iris, Turkish rose, damask rose, leather, ylang ylang, patchouli, and vetiver. It's very rich. I mean, it's floral. The iris is really out there. It's unusual, but that iris is kind of what reminds me. The iris and the rose combo says to me an older person or an older time. And this is supposedly recreated from something that was developed in the early 1800s in Paris. Could it be? Yeah, I suppose so. Why not? Right? I mean, with chemical analysis and that sort of thing that they've got these days, anything's possible. And it is really, really very, very rich and very classy. If you're going to give this to someone, you better know what their tastes are, and I would advise you to have them check out a sample. Don't surprise them, because they may not like it. It may tell them this is, you're telling me that I'm really like an old person. It's very floral and powdery. So if those kind of things appeal to you, this may be right up your alley, because it's really, really very, very delicious. The price point on this for 100 mLs is not cheap. It's $315. So this perfume, Les Nuits, is a part of something called a Parfums Historiques, which is created by Ivan Pericoli and Benoit Astier de Villatte, whose house this is. And the person known as Annick Le Guérant, who is a perfume historian, anthropologist, and researcher. All of them were driven by the same passion to restore the prestige of three mythical and magnificent fragrances. This one, which is the Les Nuits, which is the perfume of George Sand, Les Deux Bleus, which is Egyptian Kifl, and Artaban, the Roman royal perfume. So they're reconstituting as closely as possible the formulas of the time according to the regulations of today's perfumery. So it's really kind of an interesting sort of a experiment or a project, if you will. It is really, really very, very, like I was saying, it's a very rich floral, and you know, if you think of this as sort of an evocation of a time, they're talking about the 1800s, you know, you sort of can get a sense of what people were into, because all the hoi polloi and the intelligentsia were at George Sand's, and this was her scent. You know, it was her signature scent, her scent of the day, the year, the millennia, I guess. So Dominique Ropion was a star perfumer at IFF. He pulled out all the stops in the reconstitution of these three formulas. A perilous exercise considering their richness and complexity. Like I said, this is a really rich scent. His close collaboration of more than 20 years with Annick Le Guérant, the historian, was the starting point of the project. He had provided the perfumer with precise documents, proportions, recipes, all that kind of stuff, as well as the dregs from the bottom of a travel vial of George Sand's perfume, which was given to the perfumers, or the historian, I should say, by one of her descendants, Christiane Sand. So there are some ingredients that don't comply with today's standards. They recreated them, and it's a real interesting exercise and thought process behind this. Like I said, it's super rich, really nice scent, and historically it's pretty amazing. I mean, this may be something that you get if you have an older parent who might want to smell like this. You know, I'm old and I'm a parent, and this is quite nice, but it's not for me. Not yet, at least. Very delightful. I wouldn't wear it necessarily, but it is really delightful. And on my skin, it holds for 5 hours or more. So that's, for me, that's saying something. If this review brought you some value, please smash the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, leave comments down below if you've tried this, you have thoughts about this, and let us know what you think so we can keep on putting out the content. Cheers, everybody. Stay lifted, stay well groomed, stay smelling awesome. Please be kind to humans and their pets, and we will catch you on the next one. Don't forget that we love you. Cheers, everybody.